Thank you so much for stopping by this channel. Today we are going to do the second chapter of bits and bytes, and the topic here is network analysis. So in here we are going to discuss some of the questions where network theorems are used. So let's move on to the first question. In the circuit shown in the figure, the current I is, we have to find out this current. So for that I'm going to redraw that circuit over here. It will be okay. So I have to find out this I. So for that I am going to consider a node with a node voltage V, and if I write the node equation, it will be the current flowing away from the node, it will be V minus 10 divided by 2 plus V plus 10, it is 10, okay, plus 10 divided by 2 plus V divided by 1 equal to 0. From here I get 2V equal to 0, that is V equal to 0. That means the voltage over here is 0. We know that we are considering this node as our ground, whose voltage is 0 as well. So there is no potential difference between these two this resistance, between the end of this resistance, 1 ohm resistance, there is no potential difference between the two ends of the resistance 1 ohm. When there is no potential difference, when potential difference is equal to 0, current will not flow, that is current equal to 0. So we can come to the conclusion that current here is 0. Okay, now move on to the next question. Here the superposition principle is applicable. First question, it is asked, first statement, it is the superposition theorem is applicable to only passive networks, and the second is the Theligin's theorem is applicable to both active as well as passive network, and the third one is in RL circuit with DC excitation, the entire steady state source voltage will be dropped across L only. So for the first statement, P, the superposition theorem is applicable to only the passive network, which is not true. It is applicable to both active as well as passive network. Q, the Theligin's theorem is applicable to both active as well as passive network, which is true. It is applicable to both active as well as passive network. And the third one is in RL circuit with the DC excitation, the entire steady state voltage will be dropped across L only, which is not true. If I take an RL network, let us take an RL network over here, and it is given a DC excitation. Okay, we know that for DC excitation, frequency is equal to 0, that is XL is equal to L omega, which is equal to L into 2 pi f, which f is equal to 0, so XL equal to 0. That means this inductor will act as short circuit. So whatever the voltage is there, that will only drop across our R only. So across L, which is not true. If it was across R only, then the statement was true. So the only statement which is true here is Q. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. To the next question, where it is asked, the third question, the Thevenin's equivalent of the circuit shown in the figure. We have to find out the Thevenin's equivalent. So there is a 10 volt source. It is a condition where there is a dependent source as well. So there is a dependent source, a voltage dependent current source is over here. For that we have to find out RTH and VTH. Okay, so for finding out VTH, finding out RTH, what you have to do is you have to short circuit this particular voltage source, that is our 10 volt source should be short circuited, and so it is a voltage dependent current source. So whenever a voltage dependent, so whenever the independent source is dependent upon voltage, we consider another voltage source with voltage equal to 1 volt is considered, and we have to find out the current. Okay, so let us consider the node over here. Okay, and current is flowing like this. Okay, now let us consider the node over here consider the node over here and write in the node equation the current coming towards the junction is equal to the current going away from the junction. Current coming towards the junction is our 4 Vs and our the other one we can take it as outside. Okay, so V minus 1 divided by 2 plus V divided by 2. From here we have to find out V and Vs. Okay, so we will get 8 Vs equal to 2V minus 1. Keep that in mind. And so V divided by 2 is actually V minus Vs equal to 0 plus Vs. So it will be V equal to minus Vs. So if I write it here, minus 1, it will be Vs equal to minus 1 by 10. From here we get Vs is equal to minus 1 by 10 and I equal to V minus 1 divided by 2. Actually it is negative because it is in the opposite direction. So V minus 1, V is 1 by 10 minus 1 divided by 2, which we get as I equal to 9 by 20. So we get the current is equal to 9 by 20. The current flowing away from this 1 volt is 9 by 20. So RTH is equal to V divided by I, which is 1 divided by 9 by 20, which is equal to 20 divided by 9. That is our RTH. And the VTH is simply, VTH is the voltage, the open circuit voltage over here. That is the 10 volt will be reflected upon here. So our VTH is simply our 10 volt. So the equivalent Thevenin will be VTH is equal to 10 volt and RTH is equal to 20 by 9. So I can redraw this circuit as a voltage source in series with a resistance. VTH is equal to 10 volt and RTH is equal to 20 divided by 9. Okay, so this is our equivalent Thevenin. And now coming on to the next question. Here the Norton's equivalent at the terminal of 1 dash of the network shown in the figure is, we have to find out the Norton's equivalent. So for that, here also there is a dependent source and there is a dependent source, that is a source which is dependent upon this particular voltage drop across this 2 ohm. So for that I am going to consider is asked here that this is our 1 dash. This is our 1 dash. So to find out there is a dependent source over here. This is the dependent source. Okay, so whenever there is a dependent source with the source, we have to find out the RTH is equal to VOC divided by ISC. So VOC is actually the open circuit voltage over this 2 terminal and ISC is the short circuit current over these 2 terminals. So we have to find out each one of those. So first of all I am going to find out our VOC, that is the open circuit voltage across this 1 dash. So this is open circuit, so to find it out I am going to consider 2 meshes, I1 and I2. So this there is no current flowing over this mesh because it is open circuited. So if I write the mesh equation, I get 2. I am going to write the first mesh equation, mesh 1 minus 2 VA plus 2 VA minus of 2 into I1 minus I2 minus of 2 into I1 equal to 0. From here we get VA equal to 2 I1. Substituting that in that equation, I get I2 equal to -1. Okay, next coming on to the next mesh, I get the equation like I2, it is minus I2 minus 1 minus of 2I2 minus of 2 into I2 minus I1 minus 2BA equal to 0. Here also BA is equal to 2I1. So if I put it over here, I get the equation like 2I1 plus 5I2 equal to -1. So I1 we know that it is -1 itself. So it will be minus 5 equal to -1 and 2I1 equal to 4 and I1 equal to 2. Okay, so I1 equal to 2 and our VA is equal to 2 into I1, so it will be 4 volt. And coming on to this particular mesh, I am going to write the mesh equation over here, that is VOC minus 2 into I2, sorry 2 into I2 2 into I2 minus VA equal to 0. So VOC plus 2 minus 4 equal to 0. So VOC equal to 2 volt. So I get the equation for VOC, sorry, the value for VOC, that is 2 volt. And now coming on to the next thing we have to find out, so let's put that here, VOC equal to 2 volt. Now we have to find out our ISC. To find out our ISC, we have to short circuit this terminal 1 dash, we have to short circuit it. So we are going to short circuit and find out the value of ISC. So this is the short circuit, so it will be ISC. Now I am going to consider, again I am going to consider 3 meshes. Now this mesh is valued because it is short circuit, so our current is flowing through this particular mesh, so I have to consider that mesh as well. So it will be I1, I2 and I3, 3 meshes I consider. Write in the first mesh equation, so it will be 2 plus 2 VA minus of 2 into I1 minus I3 minus of 2 into I1 minus I2 equal to 0. Here this 2 into I1 minus I2 is our VA. Substituting, I get 2 into I1 minus substituting BA in this equation, I get 2 into I2 minus I1 plus 2 into I2 minus I3 equal to 0. So now coming on to the next, excuse me, mesh equation, and the second mesh equation I get 2 into I2 minus I1 plus 2 into I2 minus I3 equal to 0. So the third mesh equation I get, the third mesh equation I get I3 plus 1 plus 2 into I3 minus I2 plus 2 into V 2 into I3 minus I1 plus 2 VA equal to 0. Solving this equation, I get I2 equal to, let's solve the equation then. So the first one is 2 into 2 VA. Instead of a VA, we are going to write 2 into I1 minus I2. So it will be first equation. I am taking the first equation, minus 2 into I1 minus I3 minus VA. It is simply VA. So if I write this, it will be 2 plus VA minus 2 into I1 minus I3, which is equal to 0. So it will be 2 plus 2 into I1 minus I2 minus 2 into I1 minus I3 equal to 0. So it will be 2I minus 2I2 minus 2I1 plus 2I3 equal to minus 2. So it will be 2I2 minus 2I3 equal to 2, or I2 minus I3 equal to 1. That is the first equation. And now coming to the second equation, it is opening the bracket, you get 2I2 minus 2I1 plus 2I3 minus 2I3 equal to 0. So I get plus 4I2 minus 2I3 equal to 0, or I1 minus 2I2 plus I3 equal to 0. So that is the second equation. And the third equation I get it is two I1 minus 6I2 plus 5I3 equal to minus 1. So this is our third equation. So we got three equation. I2 minus I3 is equal to 1, and I1 minus 2I2 plus I3 equal to 0, and 2I1 minus 6I2 plus 5I3 equal to minus 1. So we can write the matrix equation over here, keeping these equations in mind. Okay, so the first mesh equation is I2 minus I3 equal to 1, so it will be minus 1, and the second is I1 minus 2I2 plus I3. Okay, and the third mesh equation is 2I1 minus 6I2 plus 5I3. So it will be I1, I2, I3 equal to, first one it is 1, second one it is 0, and the third one it is minus 1. So we have to find out the current ISC, so which is equal to the current I2. So we have to find out I2. So this is our delta. So delta we get is a determinant of this particular matrix. So it will be so I get equal to minus 1, and delta 2, that is I have to replace the second column by 1 0 minus 1, then finding out the determinant, I will get delta 2. Minus 2. So it will be I2 is equal to delta 2 divided by delta, which is equal to minus 2 divided by minus 1, which is 2. So I get I2 or our ISC equal to 2. So we have found out ISC equal to 2 ampere as well. So RTH is equal to VOC divided by ISC, which is equal to 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1 ohm. Okay, so if I redraw the circuit with the Norton equivalent. The Norton equivalent means a current source in parallel with a resistance. So it will be the current source here is ISC, which we have found out it is 2 ampere in parallel with the resistance, which is our RTH, which is okay. So this is our answer. Now move on to the next question. Here we have to find out the current. Consider the circuit shown in the figure. The reading of the ideal voltmeter between A and B is, we have to find out the voltage across these two points A and B. So let this be our one point, let it be C, and let this be our D. The voltage difference across C and D is 10 volt. So the 10 volt is divided between this R and this R. So the voltage drop across the second resistance is our VA. So it will be applying voltage division principle. It will be 10 into R divided by 10 R plus R, which is equal to 5 volt. So our VA is equal to 5 volt. Similarly, the voltage drop across C and D is 10, and it is being divided between this R and 1.5 R. So VB is the voltage drop across this 1.5 R resistance. So according to voltage division principle, we can find out it as 10 into 1.5 R divided by 1.5 plus 1.5 R plus 1 R, which is equal to 6 I get, and VAB is equal to VA minus VB, which is equal to 5 minus 6, which is equal to minus 1 volt. Okay, now move on to the next question. Consider the network shown in the figure. Okay, consider the network shown in the figure. I have to replace that with a current source in parallel with a resistance. Okay, so we have to find out what we can find our equivalent. Okay, for that, to find out our RTH or RN, for that we will short circuit all the voltage sources and open circuit all the current sources. That is what we do. So this current source is open circuited and voltage sources short circuited, and we are looking from this terminal, we get that 10 and 40 are in parallel. So we get RTH is equal to RN equal to 40 into 10 divided by 40 plus 10, which is equal to 400 divided by 50, which is equal to 8 ohm. So we got our RN equal to 8 ohm, and now we have to find out our current. That is the current, the total current in this particular circuit. Okay, for that either we can use Norton's theorem or we can use source transformation technique. In source transformation technique, what it is said is, whenever a voltage source is in series with a resistance, we can replace that with a current source in parallel with a resistance. So I am going to replace this 20 volt in series with a resistance with a current source. So it will be, positive terminal will give our arrow head and negative terminal will give our arrow tail. So it will be, the current will be V divided by R, which is 20 divided by 40, which is 1 by 2, and the resistance, there is no change in resistance, it will be 440, and the current is 2 ampere and it is 10 ohm, right? Okay. So now what happens is we have to find out the equivalent current. So a current is flowing downwards, that is 2 ampere, and some is flowing upwards, which is our 1 by 2 ampere. So the equivalent is 2 minus 1 by 2, which is equal to 1.5, but which is in the opposite, the resultant is in the downward direction, because 2 ampere current is more than 1 by 2 ampere, so it will be more moving in the direction where the magnitude is higher. So it will be moving in the resultant current will be actually moving in the downward direction, but we want an equivalent current which is in the opposite direction, that is in the upward direction. So our I will be same in magnitude but opposite in direction, that of 1.5. so we can represent it as minus 1.5 ampere, and RTH is equal to, we found it at, it is 8 ohm. Okay, thank you. Next, move on to the next question. So in this question it is asked, Thevenin voltage and resistance of the circuit in the figure at terminals 1 and 2 respectively are. So here we have to find out the Thevenin's voltage across this terminal and also the resistance. So to find out the resistance, what we do is we open circuit all the current sources and short circuit all the voltage sources. So I am going to open circuit this current source. So there is no connection between this particular part and the rest. So I have to consider only these two resistances. Okay. So these two resistances, no current or voltage is coming past or into this particular 2 ohm or 2 ohm. So these are the only thing that is here, because the rest is disconnected because the current source is open circuit. The rest of the voltage or current or whatever is coming to this particular 2 ohm and 2 ohm, which are in series or parallel, we don't know, is disconnected because this particular 2 ampere current source is open circuited. So what is remaining is a 2 ohm which is in series with another 2 ohm. So RTH is equal to 2 plus 2, which is equal to 4 ohm. So we got our RTH. Now we have to find out our VTH, that is the voltage across these two terminals. Okay. So the voltage across the two terminal, or the open circuit voltage, we have to say that is the open circuit voltage. So we know that the current 2 ampere is coming over here. This is open circuited, so no current is going to flow across this 2 ohm. Okay. Now if I write the mesh equation over here, it will be VOC minus 2 into 0, because there is no current going to flow to this 2 ohm, because the this terminal is open circuited, minus 2 ohm into the whole 2 ampere will be flowing through this 2 ohm only. Okay. So it will be 2 into 2, I into R. Okay. So VOC minus 4 equal to 0. So it will be VOC equal to 4 volt. Okay. So I get VTH, RTH we already found that it is 4 ohm, and VTH, VOC or VTH is equal to 4 volt. So the answer will be 4 volt and 4 ohm. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. In the next question it is asked, the lattice network, find the value of R for the maximum power transfer to the load. So to find out the maximum, whenever the maximum power transfer is asked across a particular resistance, we have to open circuit that resistance and find out our RTH. So whenever if we want to get the maximum power into a particular load, that load value should be equal to RTH. Okay, we have to open circuit that particular load first, and then look on to the other elements in the network and find out their equivalent resistance, and it should be equal to our load, so that we get the maximum power at the load. Okay, so we have to find out our RTH. So this is not here now. This R is not here now, which is equal to 0, sorry, infinity, because it is open circuited. Whenever open circuited thing, their resistance is infinity. So I am going to redraw it over here. So if I redraw it, I am going to name these parts A, B, C and D. Okay, so I'm going to draw it. So from A, a 9 ohm is coming, and reaching B. From B, a 5 ohm is coming and reaching C, and from C a 9 ohm is coming and reaching D, and from D another 5 ohm is coming and reaching our A. So we don't have to write this resistance because it is open circuit. So now we have 14 parallel to 14, so it will be 7 ohm, which is our required resistance value of the load for maximum power transfer. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. In the circuit given below, shown the maximum power will be delivered to RL when RL is equal to, and RL is equal to what? RL is equal to RTH, then only we get the maximum power. So we have to find out our RTH. For finding out the RTH, these two are connected. Okay, find out our RTH, what we have to do is we have to short circuit all the voltage sources and open circuit all the current sources. I am going to redraw it here with open circuit and short circuit. Okay, the voltage source 1 volt is short circuited, 2 ohm, and this current source is open circuit. Okay, RL is not here. We have to first open circuit that particular RL itself. And now look into the circuit. A passive network, passive element, resistance is in parallel with a short circuit. So we have to replace that resistance. We have to ignore that resistance because no current is going to flow through that resistance. And now what is left is our 2 ohm only, right? Because this 2 ohm is not valid because no current is going to flow over there. So our RTH is equal to 2 ohm. Okay, we got the answer. Our RTH is equal to 2 ohm. So for maximum power transfer, RL equal to 2 ohm. RL should be equal to. Now move on to the next question. In the circuit shown, the maximum power delivered to the resistor R is given by. We have to find out the maximum power delivered to the resistor. So for finding out the maximum power, the equation is V square divided by VTH square divided by 4 into RTH. V square by R, no, it is not V square by R, it is 4 is also coming there. There it is VTH square divided by 4 into RTH. So we have to find out our VTH and RTH first. So to find out our VTH and RTH, for finding out RTH, what we have to do is short circuit all the voltage sources and open circuit all the current sources. So I am going to short circuit these voltage sources, everything, all these voltage sources are going to be short circuited. And now look here, this 2 kilo ohm and 2 kilo ohm are in parallel. So our RTH is equal to 2K into 2K divided by 4K, which give me 1K. So our RTH is ready. Our RTH is 1K. Now we have to find out our VOC. Okay, that is a open circuit voltage across this terminal. Okay, to find out the open circuit voltage, what you have to do is we have to find, this is open circuit, I am going to consider this particular mesh only and finding out the current over this mesh, and write in the mesh equation over this particular mesh, it will be minus 20 minus 2K into I minus again 2K into I minus 30 equal to 0. So it will be minus 50 minus 4K into I equal to 0, and 50 divided by 4K is our I. So I got the answer, that is 50 divided by 4K is our I. And now I am going to consider this mesh, and I am going to write the mesh equation over there, that is VOC minus 5 minus 2 into I, which is our 50 divided by 4K. So it will be 2k into 50 divided by 4k minus 30 equal to 0. Okay, so it will be VOC minus k and k cancel, so it will be 35. 2 into 50 divided by 4, which gives me 25, right? So plus 25 equal to 0. So VOC equal to 10 volt, and I got VOC and RTH. RTH we have already found out, it is 1k, and power is equal to V square VTH square divided by 4 RTH, which is equal to 100 divided by, this is a VTH is VOC itself, so V square 4 into 1k, which is our 25 milliwatt. Okay, now we can do the next question. It's 25 milliwatt. You can do the next question. The VR characteristics of a network of a figure is shown. The maximum power dissipated in the variable resistor connected across A and B is, we have to find out the maximum power. So here also we have to find out VTH square divided by 4 RTH. So to find out RTH, V is equal to IR, so R is equal to V divided by I. So it will be, or VOC divided by ISC. So it will be VOC is the maximum voltage, which is 40, divided by ISC is the maximum current, which is 4. So I get RTH is equal to 10 ohm. And now VOC is given in the question, in the graph itself, it is 40 volt. So minus 40, actually minus 40. So it will be 40 into 40 divided by 4 into 10. So it will be 40 watt, right? So the answer will be 40 watt. The maximum power dissipated in variable resistor connected across AB is 40 watt. Okay, now come to the next question. We get, okay, in the circuit shown below, the maximum power that can be transferred to the load of ZL, this is our ZL. Okay, we have to find out the maximum power that can be transferred to the load ZL. 15th question. In the circuit shown below, the maximum power that can be transferred to the load is ZL. We have to find out the maximum power that can be transferred to the load, this is ZL. So I am going to redraw the circuit over here. Okay, so this is the circuit, and we have to find out the maximum power that can be transferred to the load ZL. For finding out the maximum power that can be transferred to the load ZL, we have to find out the Thevenin's equivalent resistance and what and voltage. So for that, this is actually 10 root 2 angle 0, and omega here is sin omega t. So omega, because 10 root 2 angle 0, because there is no phase difference. If it was for sin omega t plus phi, then this would have been 10 root 2 angle phi. Okay, now since there is no phi here, then it is 10 root 2 angle 0 itself. So omega is equal to 1000 radians per second, right? Radians per second. And now I'm going to find out our XC and XL. Okay, XL is equal to J omega L. So J omega L is equal to J into 1000 into 10 into 10 raised to minus 3, which is equal to 10J. Okay, so for maximum power transfer, we have the resistance over here, the total resistance over here is, this is actually 10J now, right? So if I write here, it is 10J. So the total resistance is 10 plus 10J. For maximum power transfer, the impedance should be the conjugate of this impedance, that is 10 plus 10J's conjugate should be our ZL. So ZL is equal to 10 minus 10J. Okay, so 10 minus 10J is our ZL. Okay, now we have to find out the power that is transferred to ZL, right? So power is equal to Vrms into Irms into cos phi, where cos phi, where the phi is the angle between this current element and voltage element. So another is Vm by root 2, that means maximum voltage by root 2. Vrms is equal to Vm by root 2 and Im divided by root 2 cos phi, or I can write 1 by 2 into Vm into Im cos phi, right? So this is the power that is transferred to the ZL. So now I have to find out this Vm and Im. For finding out Vm and Im, I am going back to the circuit. Okay, I am going back to the circuit for finding out Vm and Im. So this current is flowing over here, our 10 root 2 is flowing over here and is being divided between this two resistance, this impedance. So let it be Z, okay, let it be Z and ZL is being divided between Z and ZL. So to find out the current that is flowing through our ZL, let it be IL, which is our Im itself. So our Im, we have to do our current division principle. For that, Im equal to 10 root 2 into 10 plus 10J divided by 10 plus 10J plus 10 minus 10J, right? So I will get equal to 10 angle 45 degree. Okay, simplifying, I will get 10 angle 45 degree. And now coming to Vm, I have to find out the voltage drop across our ZL. So it will be Im into ZL itself, right? So it will be 10 angle 45 into ZL is actually our 10 minus 10J, right? 10 minus 10J, writing that in our another form, it will be modulus of this is 100 plus 100, which is equal to 10 root 2, right? So it will be 10 root 2 angle is tan inverse of B by A, which is minus 10 divided by 10, which is equal to tan inverse of minus 1, which is equal to minus 45. So this is our angle, and Vm is equal to 100 root 2 angle 0. Angle is added and the other one is multiplied. Okay, so we got our Vm and Im, and now coming to the power, it is half into Vm into Im cos phi. So I have to only take the magnitude of here, magnitude of Vm and Im, and phi is the actually the phase difference between voltage and current, which is our 45 degree. So it will be 10 into, that is our Im into Vm is 100 root 2 into cos 45. Okay, so it will be our, I will get an answer equal to 1 by 2 into 1000 root 2 into 1 by root 2, which is equal to 500 watt. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to the next question. Let's do the 16th question. In the 16th question, consider the network shown in the figure. The Thevenin equivalent across the terminals AB. I have to find out the Thevenin equivalent across the terminal AB. To find out the Thevenin equivalent, I have to find out VTH and ITH, right? So this is a case where a dependent source is here, a current dependent source is over here. For that, firstly I am going to find out our VOC, that is the open circuit voltage between the points A and B. So for that, I'll write here it is VOC, and write in the mesh equation over this particular mesh I'll write VOC minus this is actually open circuit, so no current is flowing through this mesh, so it will be equal to 0 itself. Current flowing through this particular resistance is 0, so it will be 0 into 2 minus 3Ix, and all the current, since this particular mesh is, this particular branch is open circuit and no current is going to flow through this, all the current, that is the whole 5 ampere is going to flow through our 10 ohm only, so it will be minus 10 into 5 equal to 0. From here we get that Ix is equal to 5 ampere, so I am going to substitute that over here. 3 into 5 minus 10 into 5 equal to 0, that is VOC equal to 65 volt. So I got the first one, that is our VTH is equal to 65 volt. Now keeping that in mind, we will now find out our RTH. We have to find out our RTH. So VOC equal to 65 volt, and now we have to find out our RTH. For finding out the RTH, I am going to open circuit our current source, and this is a voltage dependent, current dependent voltage source, right? So in that case, what we have to do is we have to assume a current source with current 1 ampere and with voltage V. Okay, now we are going to write the mesh equation over here. So it will be V minus 1 ampere current is flowing through our 2 ohm, so it will be minus 2 into 1 minus 3Ix minus 10Ix. Here our Ix is actually our 1 ampere, so it will be V minus 2 minus 3 minus 10 equal to 0. So V equal to 15 volt. So to find out RTH, it is, we know that V is equal to IR, so R is equal to V divided by I, that is 15 divided by current is our 1 ampere itself, so it is 1 ampere, so it will be 15 ohm. So the answer is 65 volt and 15 ohm. Okay, thank you. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, the next question, consider the network shown in the figure. I have to find out the Thevenin equivalent across the terminal A and B. To find out the Thevenin equivalent across the terminal A and B, here I have to find out our VOC and ISC. Okay, so to find out VOC and ISC, and here RTH is equal to, it is a case where there is a dependent source, so our RTH is VOC divided by ISC. So I have to find out the voltage, open circuit voltage between the terminal A and B, and the short circuit current between the terminal A and B also. For that, I am going to redraw the circuit over here. Let me redraw the circuit. Okay, so now I have to find out our VOC. Firstly, I am going to go with our VOC. that is the open circuit voltage between these two terminals. Okay, for that I am going to do nodal analysis. I am going to take one node. The node is V over here. So node voltage is V over here. Right, in the node equation I get V divided by 2. Let the current is. That is the current flowing away from the junction. Two currents are flowing into the junction. Since this is open circuit, the whole 3 ampere will be flowing through the to this our particular node only. So it will be equal to 3 Vx plus 3. Okay. From here I get V is equal to 6 Vx plus 6. Right. And now Vx is the voltage drop across this 1 ohm. So I am going to write the mesh equation of mesh equation from here. So it will be V minus Vx minus Vx itself, right, equal to 0. That means V equal to 2 Vx. Vx is equal to V divided by 2. I am going to substitute that in this equation. So it will be V equal to 6 into V divided by 2 plus 6. So it will be our V I get equal to minus 3 volt. Okay. And now we have to find out our VOC. So to find out our VOC, I am going to come to this particular mesh. Okay. I am going to travel from VOC till V. So it will be VOC minus what the current flowing through 2 ampere, it will be 3 ampere itself. So it will be 2 into 3 minus V, okay, equal to 0. So VOC minus 6 plus 3 equal to 0, and VOC I get equal to 3 volt. Okay. Now I have to find out ISC. Now let's find out ISC. VOC we got equal to 3 volt. Now I have to find out ISC. To find out ISC, we are going to short circuit this terminal. So this is our ISC. Okay. Here also we are considering a node V, and writing the node equation over there, we will get V divided by 2. Since this is short circuited, this point is short circuited to this point. So short circuited, then V over here, the voltage over here is 0 volt. Okay, keep that in mind. Then the next one is V minus 0 divided by 2 equal to 3 Vx. Current coming to the junction. This is the current coming to the junction. Current is flowing away from the junction, and this is V minus 0 divided by 2, and this is also V minus 2. V minus 0 divided by 2. How we got our 0 volt here? Because this particular point is short circuited, and since it is short circuited, the voltage over here will be 0 volt only. Okay. So it will be V equal to 3 Vx. Okay. By 2. From here, V minus 3V divided by 2 is equal to 0. We can conclude from here that V is equal to 0 volt. Okay. So our ISC, that is no, here also the voltage is 0 volt, so no current is going to flow between flow across this 2 ohm. That is, no connection is from this part of the network to the, let it be part A and part B. So no connection is between part A and part B. That is, the whole 3 ampere current is going to flow through this particular our ISC only. So our ISC is equal to 3 ampere. Now we have to find out RTH, right? RTH is equal to VOC divided by ISC. VOC we have already found out, it as 3, divided by ISC is also our 3, it is equal to 1 ohm. So this is our answer. Okay, now move on to the next question. Consider the circuit shown in the figure. The maximum power dissipated in RL. I have to find out the maximum power that is dissipated into our RL. So to find out, whenever that maximum power dissipated into a particular resistance is asked, we have to find out our Thevenin's voltage and Thevenin's resistance, and then find out the maximum power going to that particular load. Okay. So for that I am going to open circuit. Firstly we have to open circuit that particular resistance. So RL, maximum power dissipated in RL is asked, so we are going to open circuit our RL and then find out what is going to happen next. So I am going to redraw the circuit. With open circuit resistance. It is open circuit, right? And every other thing is the same. Only the resistor is going to be open circuited. Okay. Now this is our VOC. Here also it is a condition where there is a dependent source, right? There is a dependent source, that is a current voltage dependent current source is over here. Here we have to find out the VOC and ISC. So first of all we have to find out VOC. For that I am going to consider this particular node. I am going to write the node equation over here, that the current is flowing away from the junction. I am just going to take it that way. So current V1 divided by 2 is current is flowing towards the junction, and V divided by 2 plus V minus 5 divided by 4. Okay. From here I get the equation 3V minus 2V1 equal to 5. Okay, let's keep that in mind and write in the equation from here to here. I am going to just write the equation V minus the current flowing through 3 ohm is V1 divided by 3. That's the same current that is flowing through 1 ohm itself, because it is a series resistance, series connection. So it will be V1 divided by 3 is flowing over here. So the voltage drop over there will be V1 divided by 3 itself, because it is a 1 ohm resistance. So the voltage drop is V1 divided by 3. Minus V1 minus 5 equal to 0. So it will be now we have two equations and we have to solve the equation. I am going to subtract these two equations. I get 2V1 equal to minus 10 and V1 equal to minus 5. Okay, V1 equal to minus 5 and V, I have to find out V, so it will be minus 5 by 3. So we got our V1 and I am going to write the mesh equation from here, our VOC. So it will be VOC minus V1 minus 5. We got that VOC minus our V1 is minus 5, so it will be equal to 0. That means VOC equal to 0 volt. So if our power is actually equal to VTH the whole square divided by 4 RTH. So VTH is our 0 volt. So the power is 0 watt. Okay. Thank you. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, now we can do the 22nd question. I am going to just, in the 22nd question it is asked the current I in the figure B is, we have to find out the current I in this figure. So we have to apply the reciprocal theorem over here, and there are two sources. So when it was 5 volt, I am going to, in the figure 2 I am going to just consider this 10 volt for now. I am going to short circuit, I am going to do the superposition principle over here. I am going to short circuit this 20 volt. Now there is only this 10 volt, and comparing to the figure 1, when it was 5 volt, it was 2 ampere current. Okay, and when it was 10 volt, it will be, if it was 5, when it was 5 volt, it was 2 ampere. When it is minus 10 volt, actually the terminal is reversed here, so it will be minus 10 volt. The current will be minus 4, right? So here, due to 10 volt source only, the current is minus 4. Okay, now I am going to consider the next voltage source only. Okay, so when it was 5 volt, the current flowing over the short circuit terminal was 1 ampere. Now when it is 20 volt, the current flowing over here, it is minus 20 volt, actually minus 20 volt, the current will be in the opposite direction, that is in this direction only, and it will be in 5 volt 1 ampere, then 20 volt 4 ampere. So 4 ampere current is going to flow over here. The current due to 20 volt source only is 4 ampere. The total current is I dash plus I dash dash, which is minus 4 plus 4, which is equal to 0. Okay. Now let's do the next question. In the circuit shown in the figure, the network N is a resistive T network. Use the data given in figure A and find the current I in figure B. Okay, we have to find out the current I in figure B. So it is given in the question that it is a T network. I am going to redraw T network here. R1, R2 and R1. Okay, this is a T network and is given in the question. So our Zin is actually our input impedance. Input impedance is actually R1 plus R2, which is equal to, here the current was 10 ampere. So voltage divided by current, we get the input impedance. So it will be 7. Okay. So this is our first equation. Let that be like that. And the voltage drop across our R2 is actually plus 40 volt. So applying voltage division principle, so our 40 is equal to 70 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2, right? From here I get R2 equal to 4R1 divided by 3. Substituting this in this equation, I get R1 plus 4R1 divided by 3 equal to 7. So R1 equal to 3 ohm and R2 equal to 4 ohm. Okay. So I got the equation. I got R1 and R2's value. Now come into the next figure, that is figure B. Everything is just the same, that is a T network is just the same, but all the current and the voltages are going to be different. 5 ampere and here it is 3 ohm, right? So this current I is to be found out. The R2 we have found out, it is 4 ohm. R1 it is 3 ohm. Okay. See this node. Two currents are flowing away from the junction. So this is flowing away, that is 5 ampere is flowing away. So if it is flowing in the opposite direction, it will be minus 5 ampere, and this minus 5 ampere is being divided between 2, 3 ohm and 4 ohm. So if I have to find out I am going to do the current division principle. It will be minus 5 into 4 divided by 3 plus 3 plus 4, which is equal to 20 divided by 10 equal to minus 2 ampere. Okay, as shown in figure 2, the Thevenin equivalent of the modified network across AB will be, we have to find it out. So the Thevenin equivalent of this particular network is given in the question. It is a 10 volt source in series with a 2 ohm, right? So now and another ohm has come here. So now I have to find out what is the equivalent Thevenin and Thevenin voltage and the Thevenin resistance. So to find out the Thevenin resistance, what we actually do is open or short circuit this voltage source, and now this 2 ohm and 3 ohm are in parallel. So the equivalent resistance will be R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2, which is 6 divided by 5, which will get 1.2. So our RTH is equal to 1.2 ohm, and now we have to find out our VTH, that is the voltage drop across 3 ohm. So applying voltage division principle, it will be 10 into 3 divided by 10, 3 plus 2, that is 5, it is 6 volt, that is we get a 6 volt in series with 1.2 ohm resistance. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to the next question. The next question, it is asked, calculate the time constant of the circuit shown in the figure. Assume the initial voltage across the capacitor is 6 volt. Okay, the capacitor voltage is 6 volt of the circuit shown in the figure. Assume the initial voltage across a capacitor is 6 volt, and to find out the time constant we have to find out C R equivalent into C equivalent. This is our time constant for an RC circuit. So for that, here it is a circuit where there is a dependent source. So there is only one dependent source is there. So we are going to find out VOC and an RTH. So for finding out VOC, I am going to open circuit the capacitor terminal. So I am going to open circuit here. So it will be VOC 10 ohm, so minus Vx and 4 Vx. Here there is no other sources. Vx is actually the voltage drop across this 20 ohm resistance. Voltage drop across a 20 ohm resistance. I have to find out what is VOC. For that, let's write a mesh equation. So it will be Vx, 4 Vx the current flowing over here. This is open circuit, so no current is flowing over here. The current flowing over here will be Vx divided by 20 itself. So here also the current will be Vx divided by 20 and the voltage drop will be Vx divided by 20 into 10, which is Vx divided by 2. I am going to write the mesh equation of this particular mesh. So minus Vx is equal to 0. From here we get Vx is equal to 0. That means VOC is also equal to 0 volt. And now we have to find out RTH. Okay, to find out RTH, this is a circuit where there is only dependent source. So I am going to replace the capacitor as a 1 ampere current source, and now we have to find out Vx from here. One ampere current is flowing through here and it is divided between, this will be Vx divided by 20 because the voltage drop over here is Vx, and the rest will be going over here, that is 1 minus Vx divided by 20 is going over here. And write in the KVL of this mesh. Let us write the KVL of this mesh. If I write the KVL, it is Vx minus of 10 into 1 minus Vx divided by 20 minus 4 Vx is equal to 0. So Vx minus 10 minus Vx by 2 minus 4 Vx is equal to 0. From here Vx is equal to minus 4 volt. I got Vx is equal to minus 4 volt. So the voltage over here is minus 4 volt, and the current flowing over between this is a current source with the voltage V, that we have to find out that voltage. So it will be V plus 4 divided by 10 is our current. So V equal to 6 volt. And RTH is equal to V divided by 1 ampere, which is 6 ohm. Okay, so we got our RTH is equal to, that is our R equivalent is equal to 6 ohm. So C equal to, it is given in the question, it is 2 farad. So tau is equal to R equivalent into C, that is 6 into 2, which is 12 seconds. Okay. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. The next question, in the circuit shown in the figure, for balanced bridge, the value of IS is, we have to find out the value of IS for the bridge to be balanced. That is, if the bridge is to be balanced, then the voltage drop across here, that is, no current should flow between this flow through this terminal, that is where the galvanometer is connected. So the voltage drop over here and here should be equal. That is, voltage drop across this 1 kilo ohm should be equal to 2 volt itself. Okay. For that, IS is coming over here and is being divided into I1 and I2. Okay. And I am going to write the mesh equation right like this, and it will be equal to minus 3k into I1 minus, here the voltage difference between these two terminals should be equal to 0, so it will be 0 itself. That is, the voltage drop across the galvanometer should be 0. I am going to assume like that so that we get the IS. So minus 0 plus 9 equal to 0. From here we get I1 equal to 3. Okay. Now I think the mesh equation over here, it will be 2 plus 1 kilo ohm into I2, because it should be minus, but the I2 and our assumed direction is opposite, so it will naturally change into positive. Minus 0 equal to 0. From here I get I2 equal to minus 2 milliampere, and our IS is actually I1 plus I2, which is 3 2, that is 1 milliampere. Okay. With that we have finished the second chapter, that is the chapter of consisting of theorems of a network analysis in the book Bits and Bytes. In the next video we will be doing the third chapter, which consists of a transient analysis or time domain analysis. Thank you so much for stopping by this channel. If you like the video, like, share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.